The Street Stocks saw their 2020 championship battle end in a shock after an incident on the last lap involving Megan Fuller gave Zach Robinson his second straight Street Stock title. But 2021 saw the championship picture change as Robinson moved up to the late models while Fuller moved up to the SK Lights. Street Stock's most recent winner heading into 2021 was Frank L'toile Jr., who won both the last points race and non-points race of the season. With L'toile ending 2020 strong, he was considered a title favorite for the new season, along with Street Stock regular Travis Hydar, as well as Stafford sophomore Chris Meyer. But the competition in the Street Stocks have an element of unpredictability, with the possibility of new drivers competing for victories as the old stock car bodies prepare for another year of beating and banging in search for a championship. The season opener saw the championship favorites start in the front, with Chris Meyer taking the early lead. Frank L'toile Jr. would make his way past the green 87 machine and take over the top spot. The race had several cautions for minor spins, and in one of the longer runs of the day, Travis Hydar reeled in L'toile until an incident between Adrian Paradis III and former two-time Street Stock champion Johnny Walker brought out the final caution with just a few laps to go, leading to an exciting end to the season opener.
3 wide for the race lead as they come to the white flag with Nicholas Hubby right there in fourth as they go to 1.
Down into turn number 1. They slide to the left, slide to the right, and all of a sudden, it is Meyer in command. Here comes Hubby right there on his back bumper. Deep into turn number 3. Hubby taps on the back bumper. Meyer is there. Double checkers are out as they come back to the stripe. At the line, it's Meyer to take down the win. Hubby to finish in second.
After losing the season opener on the last lap last year, Meyer started off 2021 with a big victory, sealing his championship contention status. Travis Hydar had the short end of the stick in the exciting season opener, as his chances for victory flamed out after his right rear tire blew out. But Hydar is known for having early season success, and his strong run in week 1 was a sign of what was to come in race 2. Burt Willett had the lead early to start the feature, but a vibration forced him to the sidelines early, giving Travis Hydar the lead. The race was once again a battle between Travis Hydar, Nicholas Hubby, Chris Meyer, and Frank L'toile Jr. L'toile made his way to second spot, but Hydar pulled away until a late caution led to a sprint to the finish.
As they are able to launch off the corner, they race to the line, 1 to go. And it is almost a dead heat between Hydar and L'toile, and Nicholas Hubby has gotten by Meyer. He is a factor.
Keep your eyes on the top 3. It's not over with yet. 2 turns left in the competition. Travis Hydar behind him. Frank L'toile. Third, Nicholas Hubby. They come off turn number 4. Travis Hydar has done it. He'll take down the win. Frank L'toile will finish in second.
Hydar would earn his 5th career Street Stock win, but was still seeking his first multi-win season since racing in the Street Stocks at Stafford in 2017. Frank L'toile Jr. had 2 strong runs to start off the year, competing for the win in both races. Unlike last season, L'toile wasn't ready to settle for waiting until the end of the year to find victory lane. The 3rd race of the year started out with Adrian Paradis III taking the lead, when David Mesha Sr. and Marvin Minkler got together battling for second. Chris Meyer worked his way from a 13th starting spot to take the lead in the first half of the feature. Paradis' strong run came to a grinding halt after Nicholas Hubby had a brake issue, leading to a big hit for Paradis. The final restart saw L'toile get a great jump on the outside to take the lead with a few laps to go. And that's all she wrote, as the A-Team found victory lane for the first time this season as L'toile began his pursuit for a 3rd Street Stock title. Race 4 of 2021 saw Adrian Paradis III take the lead on the first lap in his backup car after his wreck the previous week. Chris Meyer and Frank L'toile shared the 7th row at the start, but it didn't take long for the 2 competitors to work their way through the field. After a caution for Tyler Trott, L'toile once again made the outside work, getting past Paradis to take the lead. And for the 2nd straight week, L'toile found victory lane, with Paradis and Meyer rounding out the podium. Race 5 saw the rent-a-race car of Christopher Danielchuk lead the field to the green flag. After a few laps, Street Stock sophomore Kyle Johnson took the point. Then Chris Meyer decided to go 2 for 1 in turn 3 to take the top spot. Meyer held a small lead over L'toile, but his biggest obstacle turned out to be a car he was about to lap.
Dell. Oh, all of a sudden, the leader makes contact with Dell. She spins off turn number 4. caution flag is out.
Meyer's car was unaffected, and the final laps of the race were decided by two of the best in the street stocks.
Here comes L'toile to the outside. Car number 8 goes to the outside of Matthews. They come off turn number 4. Matthews is back in command. L'toile tries to do a crossover, Matt.
Here comes L'toile. Meyer beats him to the line. A bold move by L'toile as he went from outside to inside to try to rabble-rouse his way underneath Meyer.
It only took 5 races for Meyer to match his 2020 win total, as the 87 team stayed hot, finishing in the top 4 in all 5 races. Frank L'toile Jr. was just a few hundredths away from his 3rd win, and wasn't about to spectate the back bumper of Chris Meyer's car for a 2nd straight week. Christopher Danielchuk once again led the field to the green flag to begin race number 6, while L'toile and Meyer shared the 7th row, and the two contenders had to fight through some hairy moments in traffic. A brief caution brought on a restart and more chaos as Dalton McCarthy, Jason Pinkbine, and Tyler Trott found trouble in turn 1. Once again, Meyer was able to slice through the pack first and took the lead quickly on the next restart, while L'toile took his turn making bold moves to catch up to the 87. The final yellow of the night led to Meyer and L'toile running 1-2 after the restart, leading to another dramatic street stock finish.
L'toile peeks at the inside. Meyer tries to guard the spot. Here they come off the turn. L'toile moves to the inside. Going, gone. Frank L'toile will take down the win. Myers will finish an amazing 2nd.
L'toile now has 3 wins in the first 6 races, as he and Meyer's rivalry continues to develop in 2021. Adrian Paradis is in his 3rd season full-time competing in the street stocks at Stafford, and while he's had his share of top 5s and top 10s, the Plainville native was still seeking that maiden victory. But 2021 has not been kind to Paradis, going to a backup car after a hard crash, and finishing outside the top 10 in 4 out of 5 races this season. After not racing the previous week, Paradis was back and hoping to turn the season around. Bobby Sturck III led most of the first half in race number 7, until Tyler Trott took over the point. Behind them, a chain reaction occurs involving a few of the top drivers.
Had no choice, did Sturck. He had a big push from Travis Hydar.
All of a sudden,
all
Frank
sorts of out of shape.
Way up wide, 3 wide, 4 wide.
Point leaders side by side, Meyer and L'toile for about the 7th spot on the racetrack.
Paradis started the feature in 12th, got underneath the turn 4 kerfuffle, and found himself up to 2nd with the leader in sight.
2 laps to go for Tyler Trott, but can he fend off Adrian Paradis? They are side by side for the lead in turn 1.
No question about it, Adrian Paradis III. Now is the big dog coming off the turn. It is a good run for car number 19 to take down the impressive victory.
It was the breakthrough to 19 needed, as Paradis could finally call himself a Stafford Speedway winner. One of the young hotshots in the street stock division is 15-year-old Nicholas Hubby. Hubby won the Street Stock Rookie of the Year honors in 2020 and was poised to improve the next year with more laps behind the wheel. The 8th race of the year started with Kyle Johnson quickly taking the lead from Dalton McCarthy. Johnson tried as hard as he could to hold the lead from Burt Willett, but Willett got under the 88, and before you know it, Johnson lost the lead and more.
As he stomps his way to the lead, 2nd is in jeopardy. Trouble for the Kyle Johnson as he jackhammers the fence.
Johnson was okay, as Willett took over the lead, but his lead on the restart lasted just 1 corner.
Burt Willett. It's sideways. Burt Willett goes around a mad scramble. And he gets,
Outdid.
Yes.
Hubby ended up with the lead, but had to deal with both Travis Hydar and Chris Meyer, while Frank L'toile Jr. saw his day end early after mechanical problems. Another caution bunched the field up one final time, but nobody had anything for the 16 as Hubby took home his first ever checkered flag at Stafford, immediately being greeted with a big hug from his father and former racer Walt Hubby in victory lane, as the Hubby family tradition in racing continued on and reached a new chapter. The month of July opened up with the Street Stock's biggest event of the year, the Mid-State Site Development Firecracker Street Stock 30. Extra laps with extra money on the line. Who could take advantage of the extra 10 laps to find themselves in victory lane for the big money prize? With it being a 30-lap feature, you would think there would be a little more patience in the early going. By lap 2, that idea was thrown out the window. The race then fell under a red flag after one of the cars leaked fluid on the track. Chris Meyer took over the lead early in the feature. Burt Willett found himself in second and then found himself sideways.
A little bit of a sideways situation, and we've got a lot of cars in a scramble.
The final portion of the race was another duel between Meyer and Frank L'toile Jr., leading to arguably the best battle for the win all year.
And we've got another brand new leader. Crossover. Frank L'toile goes inside, then outside.
Maintains the race lead by a car length as they go to 3. Here's Meyer back to the inside.
Coming off the turn, rubbing is racing, and that's what we're seeing right now. They cross the stripe. It is L'toile by a nose. Here comes Myers. He's back in command. Off turn number 2, Myers is the leader. L'toile gives him a shot to the back bumper.
It's Meyer out front. L'toile in second. Hubby's there in third, and they're crossed up again in turn 1. Meyer slides up the racetrack. L'toile goes to the inside with Hubby looking on.
They come up on a lapped automobile. Frank L'toile takes back the lead. Here comes Hubby. Will he be a late bloomer in this event? Off the turn. Myers tries to stick the nose back down low, but L'toile will shake him off. The mid-state site development street stock extra distance extra money event goes to Frank L'toile.
L'toile did it again, scoring his 4th win of the year in the season's first 9 races. The 2021 season eclipsed its halfway mark, and Chris Meyer held an 18-point lead over Frank L'toile Jr., thanks to Meyer not scoring a finish outside the top 5 up to this point. The year had seen 2 first-time winners in the street stocks, with a high chance of another driver getting their first win to start the second half of the season. The first lap of the race saw John Orsini make a great save after sliding through the wet grass in turn 3. Kyle Johnson started the feature in 5th, but it didn't take long for him to find the front, with Burt Willett right behind him. Travis Hydar's bad luck continued as he had to park his 11th machine after it was leaking fluid. Frank L'toile Jr. made his way up to second spot, but ran out of time as street stock sophomore Kyle Johnson took the checkered flag in what was a bit of an upset, the first win at Stafford in the Manchester, Connecticut native's career. Travis Hydar's chances at a championship faded after crashing out of the 30-lap feature and then being black flagged the next week after leaking fluid. Despite the championship realistically being out of the cards, Hydar still had a fast car and was looking for his first multi-win season in his career as the month of July winded down. Hydar nearly ended up on the hook after the first couple laps again, as he and Travis Downey made contact, triggering a multi-car pileup. Hydar would continue on and quickly charge to the front of the field. One of the most bizarre yellows of the season occurred when John Orsini went for a harmless spin in the turn 1 grass, only to have Nick Bendiak come in several seconds later and pile into the 56, ending both their nights. Despite Frank L'toile Jr. and Chris Meyer working their way through traffic, nobody had an answer for the 11, as Travis Hydar finally scored his 2nd victory on the year and his first season with multiple victories in his 5 years competing at Stafford. The month of August had arrived, and so did the 12th race of the season for the street stocks. And for the 2nd straight week, the division had an incident on the 2nd lap, this time taking out Bobby Sturck III, Tyler Trott, and Jason Finkbein. The restart saw Nicholas Hubby make a bold 3-wide move as the pack was stacked together like a race at Daytona. The top 7 were nose to tail when Hubby made his move on Travis Downey for the lead. Chris Meyer then reeled into 16 after moving up to 2nd, had to make a move soon as the laps were winding down.
Here comes Myers. Chris Myers moves to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll take over the lead. Lap number 18, a brand new leader.
It looked like Meyer was heading to victory lane for a 3rd time, but a slight mistake in turn 1 opened the door for Hubby.
White flag is out, 1 lap to go.
Looking for his 3rd win of the season and 2nd consecutive checkered flag, but here comes Hubby. Gets a run back to the inside of Meyer off of turn number 2. Is it enough as they drag race into turn 3 for the final time?
Remember, Myers was a guy that had some magic in the outside lane, but Hubby takes over the lead. Frank L'toile moves into 2nd. It is Myers back to 3rd. Checkered flag is out. Nicholas Hubby takes down the win.
Hubby cemented himself as a name to watch in the street stocks, as the teenager was improving week by week, scoring his 2nd win of his sophomore year. The 13th race of the year started off with Bobby Sturck III leading the first chunk of the feature. Adrian Paradis III would take over the lead right before a yellow and had to fend off Chris Meyer on the restart, and was unsuccessful. Frank L'toile Jr. would move up to second, leading to another 1-2 run for the top two in points. But there was no classic battle this time, as Meyer would hold on to win, giving him 3 victories on the year, besting his total from last season and breaking a 2-month dry streak. The street stocks up to this point had put on arguably some of the most dramatic racing across all of Stafford's 5 divisions, with what seemed like an intense battle for the win every other week. And the drama continued in race number 14, bordering full-blown chaos. After an early yellow, Adrian Paradis III was the first contender to find trouble in turn 1, as the 19 ran out of real estate. The ensuing restart saw the leader Jason Finkbein get a tap from behind, sending him into the turn 2 grass. Dalton McCarthy ended up with the lead as they raced 3 wide behind the leaders. Bobby Stark III, who has shown improvement this year, once again found himself at the point, and McCarthy quickly went from the lead to backwards on the front stretch grass. Chris Meyer had worked his way through the pack after all the mishaps around him, taking the lead from Sturck, when the 9 car tried to go for a crossover.
And
and
Sturck.
sideways, trying to hold on to it. Into the
He
grass
does,
he goes.
but he loses several positions.
Bobby Sturck trying to hold on, trying to tame that Brahma bull.
It seemed like if you led the event, your race would end up turning for the worse, unless you're Travis Downey, who had his race turn upside down.
And down the back straightaway, we've got one over. It is the Travis Downey machine. Up and over, and then slides all the way down.
Downey was okay and climbed out of the car once it was turned back onto its wheels. After a couple more cautions, the race was coming down to a battle between the trio of Chris Meyer, Frank L'toile Jr., and Travis Hydar.
Here
And
comes
look at
Frank
this.
again. He moves to the inside of Meyer, down into turn number 1.
And tried to move Meyer just a little bit.
Look at Frank with the inside lane to the advantage. Brand new leader emerges. Is it short-lived? Turn 3 will decide that.
Taking the high road. Meyer tries to get the grip that he needs. L'toile makes it work down low. But Meyer not settling for second. Goes to the inside. They rub fenders just a little bit and feeling and taking up the battle from that 3rd spot. Now all of a sudden, we've got a 3-car tango.
Here comes
Watch
Travis
it.
Hydar. As Frank L'toile goes up the hill, a brand new leader. The guy in 3rd becomes the leader of the pack. 17 laps will be up on the board.
And it ain't over, Ben.
No way.
Meyer trying to get some grip down low, looking to get around and get that lead back from Travis Hydar, who snookered everybody.
Here
And now
comes
it's Meyer's turn.
Meyer tries it again, and here comes Frank L'toile right there behind him. Off the turn, swapping paint, grinding down into turn number 1. Myers is the brand new leader again. Here comes Frank L'toile, 3 wide. Action at its best. Myers still in the lead. He continues to work his magic. Hydar now sees the door open. Travis Hydar moves to the inside of Myers. Hydar by a nose, but then Myers takes it in deep. Here comes Travis Hydar. Quicker on the gas. White flag is out. L'toile goes up the hill, but it is Travis Hydar to take down the win.
One of the craziest races all year long ends with Travis Hydar in victory lane for the 3rd time in 2021. And to say that he was pumped up is an understatement. The 15th race of the year saw Jason Finkbein pull away from the pack early, until issues with the car caused him to fall through the field. Burt Willett would inherit the lead with Nicholas Hubby and Chris Meyer tailing him. Hubby would make his move with Meyer following suit. Meyer took the points soon after and made sure that Hubby didn't have a chance to get him back like he did earlier in the month. And through a plethora of lap traffic, Meyer took home his 4th win of the year and his 2nd in the last 3 races. Chris Meyer seemed to have the momentum slightly in his favor with his recent stretch of wins, as he looked to preserve his point lead over Frank L'toile Jr. as we approach the final full month of racing in 2021. But with the higher car counts in the street stocks as the season rolled on, one bad night can change the complexity of the point battle. It looked like Meyer was going to be the favorite once again after L'toile found himself doing a 360 on the 2nd lap of the feature, but it was a miracle that nobody hit L'toile while he went spinning. Meyer quickly went from 3rd to 1st on a restart, while they raced 2 by 2 from 2nd on back until Burt Willett went for a spin in turn 1. As Dalton McCarthy went for a spin in turn 4 later on, Meyer was noticeably falling back rapidly before the yellow allowed him to take back the lead, but as they were getting ready for the restart, Meyer received a hand signal from Hydar Paradis III, telling him that his right front tire was going soft, causing Meyer to park the car in the pits, ending his night in heartbreak. What was at first a promising night to break the points wide open ended with Meyer at the mercy of L'toile as the 8 car started his charge through the field. L'toile made his way into the top 5 when Calamity in turn 4 saw Burt Willett go for a wild ride on top of Kyle Johnson's cars. Both drivers were okay. Meanwhile, L'toile's comeback continued, making his way up to 3rd, while the top 2 of Paradis and Bobby Sturck III battled it out for the win, with Sturck looking for career win number 1.
Bobby Sturck, car number 9. Hydar Paradis, Frank L'toile. Off the turn, white flag is out. Nobody's surrendering. Sturck has the lead. They lean on each other. They swap paint. Down into turn number 1. Here comes Frank L'toile. Frank L'toile moves in, takes over the lead, down the back straightaway. We've got a brand new leader. 2 turns left in the competition.
From 3rd to 1st, Frank L'toile Jr. goes to the point. Sturck trying to battle back as they come off turn 4.
Checkered flag is out. Great run for Frank L'toile to take down the win.
A huge night in more ways than one for L'toile, coming back from a lap 2 spin to take his 5th win of the year, taking over the championship lead with a 24-point advantage over Meyer, who finished in 18th. With his 1 mulligan gone, all Chris Meyer could do is run at the front of the field for the last 3 races of the year, in hopes of the championship battle tightening up if Frank L'toile Jr. finds trouble. Meyer would start the 17th race of the year in 8th spot, while L'toile started back in 12th. Street stock rookie Travis Downey would lead the field for the first several laps, with the top 7 cars nose to tail. Burt Willett ran a close second until contact from Hydar Paradis III sent the 51 for a spin, collecting Travis Hydar. Meyer would make the outside pass on Downey at the restart, with L'toile working his way in the 2nd spot, but Meyer pulled away, and the 87 team found victory lane once again, their 5th win of the season and 3rd in the last 5 races. Frank L'toile Jr. still held a 22-point lead over Chris Meyer heading into the penultimate race of the season, as the 8 team looked to end 2021 like they ended 2020, winning the last 2 street stock events. But the field would see one more first-time winner heading into championship night. 27 street stocks took the green flag, with Burt Willett taking the lead on the outside at the beginning of the race. The race only saw 1 minor yellow early, before the rest of the feature went caution-free with Willett in front. Nobody could get close to the Ellington native, and after an up-and-down year despite a fast car, Willett finally found victory lane the street stocks for the first time, giving the division 4 first-time winners in 2021. Frank L'toile Jr. was only able to muster a 4th place finish. Despite that, he ended up ahead of Chris Meyer, who finished 6th heading into the season finale. The long season comes to an end on Napa Championship night as Frank L'toile Jr. entered the finale with a 20-point lead over Chris Meyer after each driver had their worst finish of the year dropped from their point total. L'toile can clinch his 3rd street stock title with a top 10 finish, as 30 cars were set to take the green flag, ending the season with the largest field of the year. The race was slowed by a couple cautions early in the 20-lap feature before going green for the final 3/4 of the race. Nicholas Hubby was looking for his 3rd win of the year and had the lead for most of the race. Travis Hydar had other plans though, with a few laps to go.
The inside of Hubby, off the turn, brand new leader emerges, Travis Hydar, 18 laps up on the board.
Hydar would end the year with his 4th win of the season, capping a breakout year for the 11 team. Chris Meyer was able to score a 3rd place finish, but it wasn't enough. Despite a car that wasn't to his liking, Frank L'toile Jr. finished in 6th, which was enough for the 8 team to clinch the 2021 street stock title.
Feels fantastic. To just wrap it up, we had the goal last season, and we did it.
L'toile's 3rd street stock championship ties him with Norm Sears for the most titles in street stock history. The 2021 season started with Frank L'toile Jr. and Chris Meyer dominating the competition, but as the season evolved, more drivers were able to compete for wins. In the end, 8 different drivers scored victories, with Hydar Paradis III, Nicholas Hubby, Kyle Johnson, and Burt Willett scoring their first street stock victories. Both Meyer and L'toile led the division with 5 wins each. They also led the division with 17 top 5s and 18 top 10s each. Travis Downey earned Rookie of the Year honors in the street stocks, scoring 3 top 5s and 13 top 10s, finishing 8th in the points. But Frank L'toile Jr. came out on top of the street stock competition with his 3rd track title at Stafford. But 2022 is going to be a toss-up, as L'toile prepares to move up and participate in modified competition next year, leaving Chris Meyer as an undoubtable favorite for the title in 2022. But will the other drivers have an answer for the 87 come next April, as we get set for more street stock fender banging action coming next spring Sizzler?